Oh, hi there. How are you? Do you like my mushroom bookmarks? Sorry, they distract me so much. I apologize ahead of time. This is the second installment to my Hunger Games reading vlogs series. I am indeed reading Catching Fire, which is the second book in the Hunger Games series. The last one I read was The Hunger Games. So if you haven't seen that vlog, please go back and watch it because you will get caught up on my thoughts and feelings at this point. I did kind of betray you a little bit. Well, not betray, I started the book already. I'm on chapter 4. What has happened so far is we have gotten accustomed to Katniss and Peeta's new life in District 12. They have been given everything they could ever want. I have read this series back in junior high and high school, so I'm reading it for a second time, but I forgot that literally like everything is so awkward between Katniss and Peeta now because of their falling out at the end of book 1 and because Peeta realized that Katniss doesn't really like him like that. So things are just weird, but they each were given really nice houses in this specific part of District 12, and they're neighbors with Haymitch, which is turning out to not be great because Haymitch is just a terrible neighbor and a terrible drunk and at times just a terrible human being in general. But I love him for some reason. We find out that Gale and Katniss kissed after she returned home when they were on one of their hunting trips, because they kind of picked up right where they left off, but they kissed once and then never said anything about it ever again. Talk about awkward. Then the chapter I just left off on was Katniss talking with President Snow. Mr. Snow paid her a visit, and I hate President Snow so much. Basically, he was like, yeah, so I'm gonna kill Gale if you start uprisings. Because at this point, President Snow feels threatened by Katniss because his delicate hold on all the districts is crumbling because she was about to eat a few poisonous berries in the arena. Haymitch kind of enlightened Katniss, and right where we ended this chapter, chapter 3, it ended with Haymitch telling Katniss that basically if she wants to be safe, if she wants to keep everybody she loves safe, she needs to marry Peeta, because that's the literal only outcome that the Capitol will allow her. To be continued. I'm reading chapter 4. It is 1 a.m. Tell me why I'm crying. Tell me why I'm crying. I also have my retainer in, so if I have a little bit of a lisp, that's why. To catch you up, Peeta and Katniss are now going on tour where they will go to each district and give a speech, and I really don't know anything else. Like, I think each district makes them a feast also, but they're at District 11 because they start at the bottom and work their way up, and because they're from District 12, they're saving that district for last. So they are going to District 11, which is Rue's district, and Thresh, which both of them kept Katniss alive. During their speech, at one point, Peeta says that he is going... Wait, I'm actually going to read that to you. So they had to plan out their speeches, right? They had to write it all down and memorize it, basically. But Peeta had said something that wasn't written on the card. And he says this: "It can in no way replace your losses, but as a token of our thanks, we'd like for each of the tribute's families from District 11 to receive 1 month of our winnings every year for the duration of our lives." And Katniss was like talking about how that could feed them for an entire year. Like 1 month of their winnings can feed the families for a year. So then she says this: "I look at Peeta and he gives me a sad smile. I hear Haymitch's voice. You could do a lot worse," because Haymitch told her that about Peeta and how she has to marry him. She then continues, "At this moment, it's impossible to imagine how I could do any better. the gift, it is perfect. So when I rise up on tiptoe to kiss him, it doesn't seem forced at all. Like, that is so sweet. Like, you could do a lot worse, but at this moment, it's impossible to imagine how I could do any better. That hit deep. Also, before they got to District 11, Peeta and Katniss made up in a way. Obviously, it's not the same as it was before, but Peeta apologized actually for the way that he behaved earlier and said, basically, I'm sorry that I had this expectation of you. I already knew that you liked Gale and I was jealous of him, so I apologize for my behavior. And this catches Katniss off guard. And also, Peeta paints now, and he has been painting a bunch of the scenes of the Hunger Games, and they're like amazing, according to Katniss, but she hates them at the same time because they portray the Hunger Games. So yeah, they're friends now, or at least friendlier than they were before. That's my update. I'm gonna finish this chapter and probably head to bed. I just thought that that scene was so sweet, so had to share that with you. I also couldn't believe I was crying. The second I was crying, I was like, what is even happening? It's too late for this. Hello everyone, don't mind my crazy hair. I am currently doing my hair, if you couldn't tell. I just wanted to update you on what I read last night. So the end of the chapter where they're in District 11 is an awful ending. Oh my goodness. I had to read the next chapter because there was no way I would be able to go to sleep after finishing that one. Katniss decides that she needs to do a speech. She originally wasn't going to, and so she does this really so sweet, heartfelt speech. And after she does this, one of the people in the audience, this older man, he does the bird call that Rue taught Katniss in book 1, which is basically the 4 notes, right? The da 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 da. I would whistle it, but I don't know how to whistle. And after he whistles this tune, all of District 11 who are in the audience watching them, they do this, which in District 12 means goodbye, right? And that is what Katniss did to Rue after she had passed away. So like they did that almost as a way of saying like, we are on your side, Katniss and Peeta, and we love you, and it is not okay what is happening to us. After this, they left the stage, but they overheard and oversaw the man who whistled get shot. And so obviously the peacekeepers or the peacemakers, whatever they're called, they are furious at what the people are doing because that can insinuate a rebellion, right? Even though what they're doing now with killing their people, that already is enough to elicit a rebellion in itself. So yeah, obviously the Capitol is now furious with Katniss and Peeta still doesn't understand what is happening. So after all that goes down, Haymitch, Katniss and Peeta have a conversation and they share with Peeta everything that had been happening, the conversation President Snow had with Katniss, all of that good stuff. Peeta kind of has this freak out moment. He breaks a few things, throws a few things, which I mean, anger issues maybe a little bit. He then apologizes afterwards, and now everyone's on the same page. Everybody is aware, like, the Capitol really hates us and we need to do as much as we can to get them back on our side and to make them realize we're not a threat. So a big part of this plan was that Peeta proposed to Katniss in front of the cameras on stage. And so Katniss obviously said yes because she kind of has no choice, which makes me so sad for them because that is something that Katniss even mentions is one of her only freedoms, being able to choose who she marries, and now even that is being taken away from her. And there's a moment where Haymitch talks about how Peeta is really upset because he wanted the proposal to be real, which also makes me so sad too. But yeah, so I'll keep you updated on where this story takes us. Hi, good morning. It is a beautiful morning outside right now. Please excuse the airplanes. I'm on chapter 14 of Catching Fire, like about halfway. So there's a lot that has happened. Gale was caught poaching. He had a turkey, and all of the peacekeepers in District 12 have been revamped,
They have completely new military in their district, and I would assume all of the districts, so all the rules are way more strict. And Gale is not supposed to be poaching, killing anything, just like Katniss isn't supposed to be hunting also. But they've been getting away with it for so many years. Gale got caught with a wild turkey. So he is taken to District 12's Center Square and gets whipped. And Peeta and Katniss see it all. Katniss throws herself in between Gale and the whip, which makes Peeta and Haymitch also join. It ends up saving Gale's life, but the Peacekeeper basically says, you just need to let him know when he wakes up, because he was passed out in a pool of his own blood at this point, that next time the discipline is going to be way, way worse. And so they drag Gale back to the Everdeen household, and Katniss's mother takes care of him. Also, for the Quarter Quell, because this is the 75th annual Hunger Games, they do something special. Every time 25 years has passed, then that Hunger Games year is completely different than the others. So what we just realized is that for this Hunger Games, all of the tributes are going to be drawn from each district out of their already existing pool of victors, which means Katniss is 100% going back in the games again. When you think about this, this is crazy smart for the Capitol to do. Like, I can't help but be in awe that they even thought about that. But obviously it's in a very twisted, horrible way, because these people already have so much trauma. Some of the tributes that are going into this games now are elderly, and you're gonna make them fight to the death. So it's just extremely sad. Katniss and Peeta are the ones that are going. Peeta volunteered in Haymitch's place, of course. They're on their way over there right now, and I think that's the only update, the major update that I had for you. But yeah, my video is supposed to be out tomorrow on this, so I'm gonna do a lot of reading today for sure.
Why, hello again. We're back in my room. I forgot to mention something super important in my last update. Katniss sneaks out of her district and finds people in the woods who are running from District 8. And they're convinced that District 13 is still alive. I totally forgot about District 13. I forgot about it all. I won't spoil for those of you who actually have no idea what's going on as of yet. But yeah, so there's people who are on her side, and they share with her that District 8 basically has fallen into the rebellion. So she's trying to figure out all of her feelings with this, and then she has to sneak back into her district, and she finds out that the fence, the electric fence that usually is not turned on, is turned on this time. So that's a whole ordeal. So that happens before she is drawn for the new Hunger Games. So now her and Peeta are on their way over there. I have way more reading to do. I'm going to stay up until I finish this book, no matter what happens, because that's just the way that I am, and I need to finish this book. So yeah, the next time you see me, I'll probably be in the middle of a very intense scene or done with the book. You want to know a fun fact about me? You want to know a fun fact about Miranda? I love Finnick. Who said that? I love Finnick. He's one of my favorites. He is one of my favorites. Like, just in the unhinged way that he just talks to everybody. The sugar cubes, how he just goes up and makes friends. Like, introversion is scared of him. Social anxiety is scared of him. He's just amazing. Like, I would 100% be his friend if I was in Katniss's place. He's just so great. Like, I love him so much. I also love him and the old woman who is from his same district. I forget what her name is, though. Her name is Mags, and she's amazing. I love this arena as well. I think the water is magnificent. Like, what a way. How different that is. And to give all the tributes belts that are flotation devices to, like, even the playing field, even though obviously someone who knows how to swim is going to be way better than somebody who doesn't know how to swim, even if they can float. I also love that Katniss accepted Finnick as an ally, because originally her and Peeta just wanted to be together. and that's it. But Katniss and Finnick were the first people to make it to the cornucopia in the middle, and Finnick was like, wow, I didn't know you learned how to swim. Good thing we're allies, right? And she saw a gold bracelet of like flames on his wrist that used to be Haymitch's. So then she's like, okay, well, Haymitch is basically forcing me to have you as an ally, so I guess that's that. I love how chill Mags is. So chill. Making me sad for what ends up happening later on in this book. But enough about that right now. Nope, not yet. We'll deal with that later. So later is actually just an hour later. Not even. I read that chapter like 30 minutes ago. So Mags dies in the poisonous fog, which is so sad that she just gives herself up. Like, genuinely, I might do the same thing if I was her age and I was in the Hunger Games again, right? Because it's like, if I'm gonna be a burden to the rest of you, that's not worth it. I want one of you to win. If I'm that old, I already know I'm not gonna win. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's still so sad. And then after they made it to the beach, they meet up with Johanna, Wyress, and BT. They show up covered in blood, basically saying that they experienced the jungle actually raining blood onto them. And pretty soon, with the help of Wyress, they realize that the arena is a clock, and that at every hour something terrible happens. Peeta and Katniss had this super sweet moment on the beach as everybody else was sleeping and they were taking watch. And Peeta basically was saying that if he dies, Katniss has people back at home, and basically he's saying that she can marry Gale, but if Katniss dies, Peeta's entire world dies. So that's just so sad. This Hunger Games is going by really, really fast. I mean, I'm literally binge reading it at this point, but it's so easy to read through, and I really enjoyed this one. I think I enjoyed this Hunger Games more than the last one. There's a lot more action happening, not as many slow lull moments, even though both books are phenomenal. But yeah, now Katniss is going to sleep. But I am not. I have a few chapters left. Wow. That's all I have to say. Just kidding, I actually have way more to say about the end of this book. Where did I put it? I'm sitting on it. Oops. Anyway, I finished Catching Fire. And the revolution is like in full swing. So basically, I don't even know how to recap. So I won't fully recap. All I'm feeling right now is excitement for the next book. I'm remembering bits and pieces of what's coming up, but Katniss and Peeta are separated. Katniss was rescued from the arena. She ended up shooting a hole through the force field all around the dome, and a hovercraft came down and picked her up. In the hovercraft was the new game maker. I'm forgetting his name, I don't really remember it. Haymitch and Finnick ended up being saved as well. They're with Katniss and they weren't able to save Peeta. So Peeta was taken to the capital, most likely to be questioned about it, because they took out the tracker out of Katniss's arm, and I believe almost everybody else's, at least everybody who was in on the plan. They didn't tell Katniss and Peeta about the plan on purpose so that they wouldn't jeopardize it in any way. But yeah, the ending of this is insanity. I just want to start book 3 now, but I can't. It's way too late. I need to be up early tomorrow, so I am gonna go to sleep. 5-star book for sure. I love this one. This is my favorite one so far. I'll see how I feel as I continue on with the series though. But thank you all so much for watching and supporting me and being on this journey with me. It really means so much. Please comment down below your thoughts on this book, if this book is your favorite in the series. Don't forget to like and subscribe as well to keep up with my content and make sure that you get the notifications for my next vlog coming out once I finish Mockingjay anyway. That'll be a little bit. Thank you again so much for watching and sticking around for this long. I love you all. Please be safe, make good choices, and I definitely will see you next time. Bye!